All right, basically, I just wanted to make a quick video on all you guys about how I rose my credit score from like in the 550s, 560s, maybe low, and then think it was like 580 or 610 or something like that, and bringing it up to I think the last time I checked, that was like my highest was like 780 something. It goes up to 800 now. I did I got a new car loan and borrowed a few things this year. So obviously my score went down because every time they check your credit, they do a hard pull, and there's a thing called a soft pull. Soft pull is like they kind of glance at your record and it doesn't really affect your credit score. And then a hard pull is something where it does take like 1 or 2 points from your credit score just because they checked it. Now, this is up to you if you want to believe me or not, but I'm telling you right now, the way that I did it, I researched the thing online and I listened to other people what they did, and I came up with my own conclusion and to do this to raise your credit. And within, I would say, I remember I worked on my credit really hard, and within a year and a half, it's not something instant, but within a year and a half, I was able to raise my credit score by almost 200 points. Now, check this out. Now, let me tell you, first of all, you're gonna need a job, and at least keep a steady job. Whatever you do, man, just hold on to your job, and at least make, couple decent amount of money. 30 I was making, something like close to like 50k a year, something like that, 45k a year. Back then maybe 42. But you could do this with like, 30k, 25k a year. You just have to be patient, and you have to, be strong about it. So if you're not going to do those things right there and be strong about it, it's definitely, there's no way you're going to have your credit go up. But let me tell you how I did it, okay? All right, so basically back then, I was making, borrowing a lot of stuff, using up credit cards, and not making payments on time. So the first most important thing to raise your credit score or make your credit score bad is that you have to make your payments on time. That's the most important thing. That's a lot of the majority of what they review is to make your payments on time. Make sure your payments don't forget anything. Make sure, what I like to do is, I like, if I got a credit card or a car payment, I like to get it auto pay. Just get that thing auto pay. You don't have to think about it. Just make at least the minimum payments every month. And if you can, make a little bit, even if it's $5 or $10 over, make extra payments within that month to get rid of your debt. So that number one thing is always make your payments on time. Within 6 months to a year, you make your payments on time. You already to a good start on improving your credit score, and the more people are gonna give you a chance to loan you higher credit amounts, and be able to make loans. People are gonna loan you money on cars and whatever, whatnot. So that's the most important thing, is make your payments on time. I can't stress that enough. Another thing to do is a long history. I had that one credit card, my first credit card from Wells Fargo. It had a crazy interest rate, something like in the 25, 24% credit limit. A lot of people, they'll close their account, but I did not, because that was the first credit card I had. And the other thing is a long history of credit. So car payments is good too, but after 5 years or something, your car payments is done. It shows that you close. Sometimes when it shows that you closed an account, it'll lower your credit score a few dots, instead of showing off that you paid off the car. Even though you might have paid off the car or you got done, it's gonna lower your credit score. I seen that happen. Believe me, trust me, believe me, it does happen. So a credit card is a good thing to keep hold on, even if you're not going to use it. Like me, I didn't use it. I never used, with that high interest rate, never use it. I use 1 or 2 credit cards that I use to pay for my stuff, and I use those, and I try to pay, like, one credit card I use on groceries, gas, and when I go out to eat, whatever. I pay that mostly at the end of the month, all the way through, all full, every month, all the time. So That's one I pay. Then other stuff like, stuff that, is a high payment. Like if I buy a phone for 2 grand or 2K, I put that on the card and eventually, do the minimum payments. That's the other credit card number two. And that credit card's the one that I have with a high limit. So basically, when you have a high limit credit card, say for example, you got 10K, right? 10K, don't ever go past the 5K. That's the marginal. I would say maybe 45%. Actually, if just use about like 45% and don't go past that 45. That helps your credit. Just don't go past the 45%. Just if you got a 10K card, don't go past like, $4,500 or something like that. I'll keep it maybe, if you want to, give it a bigger gap, leave it at 3K. Okay, just don't go past the 45% mark on that. Okay, so that's the other thing. Okay, so the other thing that I want to mention is that also get like, there's a lot of conception of people like, I never use credit cards. I pay my mortgage, my car, whatever, that's enough. To me, no. I'll tell you right now, I have 7 credit cards, and I only use 2 of the credit cards, but I still have 7 credit cards, and I notice that it does raise my score like 1 or 2, 3 points. It might be a little bit, but it's still raising my score. Now I noticed this on my case. I noticed this other people, some people, they just never use credit. All they do is use, they're like, fine, just paying a car off with credit. That does earn you credit, but still, I think that if it shows that you're paying multiple things on credit, it raises your score a little bit better. That's what I noticed in my view. Okay, so basically what that means is like I have 7 credit cards. I don't plan on opening anymore. The average somebody should carry is maybe like 3 or 4, but I have 7. I just, like to carry. The reason why I like to carry, that comes to my other point, is that the more that the banks lend you is basically is better for your credit score, because it's showing that when somebody pulls up your credit, it's showing that, hey, this big bank lent him money, this big bank lent him money, as long as you're making payments on time and not using your debt to ratio, meaning that you're not buying, you don't have more debt than how much you can afford to pay for. That's the other thing you got to watch out for. That it shows that, all these other big credit card companies is, lending this guy credit. When you go apply for something, they're looking at that like, okay, yeah, he's trustworthy. If these guys are lending him, he should lend it. As to somebody that's just paying a card, they might look at him and be like, hey, he's good, responsible with his money. But for me, I'm saying, if I'm looking at somebody like all these big banks lending him credit, they must mean that, they're making money off of him, and he's paying for his credit, on time and everything. That's why all these people aren't lending it to him, and they're making money off of him. So it makes them want to, lend you more. You get what I'm saying? Lend you more. Like if one person if I see one person with a credit card, one person with like, one bank with one credit, and they're just lending him, that one credit. Then I see the other dude, all these banks are trying to, extend him credit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with this guy. Obviously all these banks are lending him credit because he obviously, they're making money off of him, and his paying them off on time, and plus they can see that, your score is good. My score is 741 right now. I'm gonna raise it to like, close to 800. I'm just working on it right now. I just got a few things I'm paying for right now, but 741, that's still good. It says excellent right here, but I still consider that as good. I still think that I could get into, the A category. And as you can see, the credit use, like, don't use Credit Sesame or Credit Karma to 100% take your credit, because these things, they not updated like a few months. When they actually pull your credit from your FICO score, it's gonna be a little bit different than what you see on this score right here. So this is just like a ballpark area, and some of the info they give you here is good, but some of the stuff I don't think is that great. Okay, so the other thing I want to let you know is when you another thing is the amount of credit you have available to you is very good for your score. I seen your score raise up a lot by that. Like, for example, like if somebody has, they're like, a lot of people conservative and they're like, man, I only need $5,000 credit limit. I don't want to go higher than that. Every time I always ask for the max. The reason why I ask for the max is when you have that extra amount, then all of a sudden, you still under the 40% or the 45% that I told you about not spending on your credit card for emergencies or whatever, whatnot. And you're still under that 45% threshold. The other thing is that it's showing that, credit card companies can trust you with the high amount. I want to get the highest possible because I want to have, like, right now, it shows that my total credit limit probably is 137,400 compared to, like, I probably got more than that, but just for right now, it's showing some of my credit cards that I have available, and it says my credit card debt is 19,000. It's less than that, but that's just, like I said, this thing is not 100% accurate on that. So that's the thing right there on that. So basically what you want to do is you want to ask for the highest amount, because basically what it's showing is that when you apply for a loan, other credit card, that bank that you trying to apply for, or you trying to get that $50,000 car instead of that $25,000 car, they're going to show that you going to be able to make payments on it. And it shows that, look, hey, this guy lend him a car with a credit limit of 20,000, while the other guy, he only got a credit limit of 5,000. Now they might not know he only asked for 5,000, and he could tell them that, hey, I only asked 5,000, but they're not going to just take your word for it. They're just going to see the facts on the sheet of paper. It says this guy got 20,000 on the limit, this guy 5,000. He must not be able to afford this $50,000 car, so we're not going to get him. We're going to try to get him into 30,000 instead of the 50,000. So that's the reason you want to ask for the max credit limit. And it shows that the more credit available to you, it's good for you and makes your credit go up, because it shows that you can you could buy that high price car, you could buy that high amount, and you still gonna pay it back to them, and they're not